Yes, sir.
The mentality of us as a whole is determined by the government and the how they are with the people.
Yeah.
And so they're not rewarding people anymore as they were before. They're involved in a way that's, as stifling, any sort of benefit from your progress.
Yes.
And so that's got to be a major factor in everything that we're talking about right now.
It's the government is doing that, but it's the government job to destroy you. The government job is not to make you wise and smarter and independent and free. The government job is to destroy you. You can never ever trust the government. Who I really blame are the parents. Because if adults would get married, fathers and mothers work together, be that working example, be that good attitude for the children, when the kids grow up and go out into the world, then the government and the deceivers out there can't take over the kids like that because they're being made firm and strong in the homes by the parents. But what the government does is destroy the parents, pass laws against men, make sure that the parents. I was talking to a guy in the supermarket the other day, once in a while ago, and this guy was telling me about his wife. He was like complaining, this worker was complaining about his wife. He said, I don't know why he was so upset right then and there, right? He said, my wife, he was just going, I hate my wife. He's like, she has diabetes, she has high blood pressure, and she's an alcoholic, and I can't do anything about it. I said, why do you let her drink? You don't have to let her drink. Yes, I do. I have to let her drink. I said, why? He said, because if I don't let her drink, she'll call the police and I'll be in jail. And I'm not going to jail for my wife or nobody. He said, so as a result of that, my household is out of control because I can't do anything about what my wife is doing. He says that she gets drunk and then she just goes to parties, she curses and they get in fights, and she wake up the next morning and says she had fun last night. He said, I said, in the older days when boys were boys and men were men, that would never happen. He said, I know. He said, but now the laws are against me and I can't do anything about my wife and my family. Isn't that a sad commentary? But that's what the government would do for you because they don't want you to be independent and free. We were talking about bullying the other day on the radio, on my radio show. I think wavesofgray.com was there, right? And they were talking about how the liberal guy was talking about how you should handle bullying. Don't teach your kids to fight. Don't see, this and that, right? And I said that what I'm teaching my granddaughters is that if some kid at school or anywhere mess with you, you give them a warning first. I suggest you not mess with me. You're going to get hurt. And if they continue, you knock the teeth out. And then they said, well, don't knock the teeth out. I said, okay, knock them blind. And then go tell the teacher that they messed with me and I defended myself. Because it's the weak kids who are being bullied. The ones that are whining and whimpering and committing suicide, jumping off the bridge. But if you stand up for yourself, these so-called bullies are not going to mess with you. Can you imagine teaching your child, if somebody hits you, you run and tell the teacher? My grandmother would have whooped life out of me. Oh, mama, that boy jumped on me today. Did you fight back? No, because I just went and told the teacher. He will whoop me until the cows come home. Now, she wouldn't want me to go out there and start a fight, but they want me to defend myself. We have even lost that with the kids nowadays. They try to tell you, don't bully, don't do this. It's all a mess. It's all wrong. It's all backwards. And we're creating a weak society. Yes, sir.
I just want to add one thing.
Okay, go ahead.
You realize
Go
that
ahead.
this is the 20th anniversary of the LA riots.
Oh, yeah. That's a good reminder.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You're right about that. And I'm going to talk about that next week on my radio show. That is so ridiculous. They've been talking about the LA riot, right? I don't want to deviate. And the thing I don't like about, or disagree with what they were saying, they're like, we got to stick together. We got to do this. No change. They put in a whole lot of money into this area, but things have gotten worse instead of getting better. And that's because they have a we mentality instead of an individual mentality. They are identifying as black people, and they bring in the Hispanic too, blacks and Hispanic. Instead of being a person, they identify with a group. And the worst thing that you could do to yourself, the absolute worst thing that you can allow to happen to your life is to get your identity from somebody else, from a physical thing, person, place, or thing. When you identify with a group or with someone else, you lose yourself. It's the worst thing that can happen to you. You start acting like the person, sounding like the person, believing like the person or thing or whatever it is. It controls you. That's why God wants us to get our identity from him, only from Christ and nothing else. But 90% of the people get their identity from somebody else or something else. And we've been told that we're supposed to be getting identity from one another. We are not. That's another lie that's been told to you. Our identity should come from righteousness from within and not from another person. Not from another person or another place or another thing or money or anything. But I find that most people get their identity from somebody else. They look like them, they dress like them, they walk like them, they talk like them. And the thing about it, they don't even know that they're getting this identity from something else or somebody else. And it's just rampant, especially in my community, the black community, because they've been taught that for the last 50 years. It's a spiritual battle, folks, between good and evil. I'm overcoming my identity with my mother, my identity with being black, my identity. I'm overcoming that. It looked like when God changed my heart, he just broke all that, and now I'm overcoming it. There's no freedom like the freedom that comes from your identity with God. None. You can't begin it. Your mind can't comprehend what that is like. It cannot comprehend what that is like. Isn't that amazing? Yes, ma'am.
I was watching Tavis Smiley on Book TV, and
Yes.
he was talking about the black thing and how blacks are he said they have a perpetual audition. And I was just thinking how he's not, he talks about this stuff all the time, but he's not empowering blacks to do anything different. You know, he just has this circuit where he goes around and around, blacks don't get this, this is, we have to do this is the problem, this is the problem. But have you taught our youth to value education? Have you taught blacks to stand together or to work hard, to do better, to build their own businesses and things like that? None of those things are happening. And so what he's going to do is just keep on the same circle.
Same thing. Another 50 years will go by, and they will be in the same situation.
He will still be angry.
This is why I'm trying to break them apart. I want people to be individuals first, so they can seek first the kingdom of God in his right way, and then he'll add on to you what should be happening in your life. A good example of that, I'm going to bring it up. There's this thing that they're trying to do now under Al Sharpton and Jackson and others called measuring the movement. Trayvon Martin movement. You heard about that? And they are going around the country trying to connect blacks based on that. And I'm thinking, what do they want? What kind of movement do they want? Are they trying to get blacks to do what? I don't know what they want. And then this morning they had Trayvon, father, mother, and Abalou DeBlas, somebody out of New York who was killed by a cop. But what they are not telling you that these people are running from cops. They are committing some type of crime. The cops are not just going out killing black people, but they leave that part out. They don't tell you what these people have done that caused the cop to take the action that they took. They just say, oh, we need a movement. They're trying to desperately get a movement going. And the unfortunate thing is that because so many people within that community identify with these people, they're believing a lie that doesn't even exist. And they're working hard to create a lie. I mean, it doesn't even make sense. And you don't know what they want. They don't say what they want. But the people they're applauding just because they say white and black or bad police. They're just going for it. And if you try to say, well, what do you want? They don't tell you. They have a thing, the government is attacking the Catholic Church. And they're saying that the Catholic Church have to provide contraceptions and condoms for their employees. And so the Catholic Church said, no, we're not going to do that, right? And then the president said, well, if you don't do it, then the insurance have to do it. Insurance companies have to do it. And I'm thinking, that's not a favor, because if the insurance company have to do it, who's going to pay for it? We're going to pay for it. It doesn't change anything. But it's a spiritual battle going on out there, and the attack is up on the family, the church, men, good women, anything that's good. And then they use this thing, women. If you say no to it, you're attacking women. Now you're supposed to back down. They did the same thing with the gays. If you don't hire them, if you question or don't agree, the gay. Dumb stuff, but a lot of people are falling for it. Booker T. Washington said that there will always be people out there who uses the past or remind you of the past in order to keep you angry and control you. And that's what we have in these people. They're just bringing up the past that has nothing to do with now, but they do it to keep you mad so they can control you. And the people just falling for it. Yes, Pat. I want you to wake up, folks. I don't identify with any color at all. And I used to do that. No color. I used to get up in the mirror and see that I'm black and think, wow, life is hell. What am I going to do today? It's hard in America. When you're black and greasy. That's why I had to put this stuff on my face, because in the camera, I'll be black and greasy. I look like fried chicken. Anyway, yes.
One thing people don't talk about much is that going back to the illegal alien problem, the illegal aliens are a replacement for the black workforce that failed. There's a lot of black people that wanted to work and were working at the time and doing well in a lot of the trades, but a lot of the black community was being destroyed at the same time. And because of the weakness and the family breaking up, and the Hispanic community had stronger family ties, they had
the family.
They had better attitudes about working, and they basically came in and replaced the American black workforce.
Absolutely. It's about the family, folks. We got to protect our children. We got to stay together as families. And they're men and women of God, never mind the color. We got to stay together as one, under Christ, and do the thing that's right. There's no greater joy than doing what's right, not being afraid, standing up for what is right. There's nothing like it. But the hardest thing is to get the people to come out of denial so that they can live the right way. And I'm going to give you examples of that in a minute. James, did I see your hand again?
They're not just replacing the black people, they're replacing like college-age people that are forced to go to college rather than go to work.
That's a good point. Everybody and their mama got to go to college. You don't need to go to college. You just need to have a good attitude about work. Save your money, invest your money, treat people the way you would like to be treated. When you tell a person, I'm going to work for you for X amount of dollars, put your all into it, because what's happening is God is watching over you. He loves your attitude, and he's opening up doors for you that you don't see. But a lazy man or a lazy woman, you're never going to get a door open up. It's just not going to happen. But it's about the spirit. It's about what is right. It's about the attitude. People are following Al Sharpton. Now, that's the dumbest thing you can do in the whole world. So you know these people must not see what they're doing. People follow Jesse Jackson. You know that's dumb, but you got to realize these people who are following these folks absolutely don't see what's happening. We can see it, right? So, but they can't. I used to listen to Jackson when I was dumb, angry and dumbed down. But I woke up. God woke me up, and I see now. But these people, they need to wake up. They don't see what they're doing. The one thing, now I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, but the one thing I thank God for I thank him for everything, is that he took away judgment from me so I don't judge my enemy. He took that away from me. It's not in my nature. I don't think to do that. It's just not there. I thank him for that. I thank him for that. I thank him for that. It's just not there for me to feel anything about anybody. Ain't that something? And so I treat people the way God treat me. God show me love, and I show other people love as well. That's what it's all about. Yes, sir.
I want to get which story is true. You say that God took away your ability to judge.
Yes.
And then in another time, and you're doing the same thing the Bible does. It gives you two different stories, and you wonder which one is the true one. And then another time you'll say that it's because you let go of judgment that you no longer judge.
Oh.
Which is the case?
That's a good question. Anybody else confused by that? You're confused by it? About what he said.
Well, I mean, in other words, did you do something or did he just take it away from you?
I've always said that it was he who took it away from me. You can't take spiritual things away from yourself.
But then you also say that it's you who let go of this.
Right, but it was he who caused me to let go. Maybe I should hold up a sign when I say it. Like when I say I let go, I need to hold up a sign. It's he who made me let go.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a reminder.
Yeah.
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 No.
All right, thank you.
Of ourselves spiritually, we can do nothing. And we are out of time.